in a safe place that you'll never forget where it is.
And when, 15 years from now, oh, there it is.
Where you go?
2 minutes. 2 minutes. That was about 6 or 7 hours, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty good. She was a lovely bride.
We got 2 minutes. We're going to follow the...
What is his most record scoring world?
I also fit the Lady Columbia outfit, and she wears her hair down. And you go,
Which
I finally wear my hair down.
Ladies, do we know where we're supposed to go?
We're going to wind up in the shade.
I'm following you.
Exactly, I got a better gig. I think we played... To the Old Bethpage Village celebration of the 88th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It was on this very day in the year 1776 that our forefathers, by the courageous stroke of a pen, severed the bonds binding us to European tyranny, and guided by the succession of the greatest and most inspired leaders our world has ever known, that tiny nation of 13 historic states has grown in this short span of years to become a mighty nation. Before beginning the formal ceremonies today, may I introduce to you those dignitaries who by their presence here bring honor to our celebration. First, the Venerable Reverend Mr. Fanning, formerly Minister of the Farmingdale Circuit and Minister of our Minetto Hill Church, and currently Minister of the Smithtown Circuit, has joined us here again today. Mr. Fanning. The Old Bethpage Village Fire Company, Old Rough and Ready, under the leadership of their beloved chief, Matthew Weiss. The gentlemen of the Sons of Temperance, and accompanying them, the Daughters of Temperance. The Old Bethpage Village Brass Band, under the baton of Mr. Ed Albinski, to whose stirring music we marched, and who will entertain you in concert at the conclusion of our ceremony. We continue to pray for our soldiers in the field who are marching along with General Ulysses S. Grant, pursuing General Robert E. Lee down in Virginia. So our applause to our soldiers who are currently in the field. And now, as tradition dictates, we have saved the best for last. Please allow me to present our mayor, Mr. David Benjamin Franklin, who will deliver our rousing oration today. Mr. Franklin. I would now like to begin the festivities with Mr. Fanning, our Reverend, to invoke God's blessings on our efforts here today as those of our troops that are currently engaged in the southern field of conflict. Mr. Fanning.
Dear Lord, our divine protector, bless us today as we celebrate this anniversary of our glorious Declaration of Independence, as we celebrate the smashing of the bonds of tyranny and injustice. Make us always aware, O God, that this freedom must be guarded and watched over like a most precious possession, and that's what freedom is, a most precious possession. Brave men died to give us this freedom. With your help, we'll preserve it. Give us the strength and the skill to produce good crops, to reap rich harvests, and let it be, dear God, that those who reap them share generously with your church. Remind us constantly, O Lord, that rich harvests are not reaped by those who squander their time and energy in sin-filled taverns. The only harvest reaped there is the profit made by the tavern keeper. Above all, O God, let us never forget that freedom, full harvests, and all good things come to us through your generosity and mercy, and that all things must be enjoyed in your name. Amen.
The Reverend Mr. Fanning also reminded me that we would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Noon for allowing us to use their shady yard today for this ceremony. So at the conclusion of our festivities, please feel free to imbibe as your conscience dictates. I would now ask that you all please rise for the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Now I'd like to invite forward Mr. Lewis Rich, Town Councilman, who will read to you from our Declaration of Independence.
Thank you, Mr. Persick. Getting old ain't for sissies. In Congress, July 4th, 1776. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate an equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deceiving their just powers from the consent of the governed, and that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to the world. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislators, and for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, then for protecting them by mock trial for punishment, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes upon us without our consent. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress, assembled in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown. Huzzah! Huzzah!
And now our brass band will delight us with Hail Columbia. Now I would like to present for you our orator for today, our mayor, the Honorable David Benjamin Franklin. Mr. Franklin.
A little wobbly. My fellow citizens, the shouts of joy, the far resounding peals of church bells which fell upon the ear this morning announced the incoming of the 88th anniversary of this nation's birth. Throughout our widespread land, from Cedar Swamp to Jericho, from Oyster Bay to Farmingdale, the beautiful emblem of freedom is now proudly flying. It is fortunate for us that we have a day like this. It is fortunate that something like this occurs at least once in each year, to make us pause and ponder the momentous theme of our liberties, how they were won, how they are maintained, and how they may be preserved. This day will remind you of those events and those people more vividly than anything to which language can give utterance. The history of our country's wrongs and sufferings, and the glorious redress of those wrongs and sufferings, is written on her battlefields. If you would know why you are free, turn to the graves of your sires. If you would know why our nation is great, turn around and behold on every side the living proofs of her greatness. This greatness is heard in the busy hum of manufactories and seen on the broad fields of our farmland. It is also seen in the immense commerce of our flourishing seaports and in that magic power which is transforming the wilderness into gardens and the bluffs and sloping shores of our inland streams into towns and cities. The soil you tread is yours. The inalienable right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is yours. Be not idle. Put in motion the talents with which you are endowed. Improve, adorn, and enlarge the blessings of which you are a living illustration. Americans, look around you. Scrutinize the state of public affairs, not with jaundiced eyes, but as a people of fairness and firmness. Of late, the public mind has been agitated. It is vexed and heaving with conflicting emotions. Become acquainted, thoroughly acquainted, with the causes of this agitation and aggression, with its rise and progress and probable result. Yet, amid all our increase of territory, amid all our boasted intelligence and virtues, our power and glory, the succession has advanced of a disunion of these states. The very fibers of our nation are now torn. A dissolution of this great union has become our reality. Are the memories of our common struggle for a common cause to pass for naught? Did not the citizens of Long Island and the citizens of Georgia, Virginia, and the Carolinas look with equal pride and reverence upon a common constitution and common flag once? Cold must be the heart, deadened the sensibility, corrupted the imagination that can in present banish all the hallowed remembrances of the past and regard with indifference the breaking up of the association of states. Put away with these gloomy thoughts. While the dissolution of our union has occurred, the meridian of her splendor is not reached. I predict that the struggles of war, powerful and terrible as they are, will swiftly come to a close, and that a rebuilding, a reuniting, and a rebirth of our mighty nation will soon be at hand. Citizens of this great nation, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, we are today actors in the grandest drama of real life. We stand upon the threshold of momentous events and touch the garment of occurrences which are to shape the future condition of a continent. Huzzah to you, and huzzah to the Union. I thank you and bid you all a glorious Fourth.
To conclude our ceremonies today, our Reverend Mr. Fanning will now pronounce a benediction.
We thank thee, O Lord, for the blessing of fair weather and a successful start to our day of commemoration. Let the manner in which we continue to celebrate our freedom and the manner in which we use it be pleasing to God and bring him glory. Amen.
We don't bring him out much. We'd like to thank you all today for joining us for our Independence Day ceremonies. At the conclusion of our ceremonies, the brass band will delight you with some tunes. We thank you all for visiting us here at Old Bethpage Village Restoration. Liberty and Union, now and forevermore, one and inseparable. Enjoy your wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.
I think that was